Hello and welcome to Practical Caravan TV, the show all about buying, owning and enjoying your caravan. We've got a bit of a luxury special for you this week as our Motty tests the new Mercedes E-Class estate. Plus we take a look at the Coachman VIP 575 and the all-new Compass Camino 674 with its centre washroom and fixed twin single beds. Plus we'll drop in on Wood Farm Camping and Caravan Park.
Now it's probably fair to say that 1 year ago you couldn't put Coachman, VIP and all change together in the same sentence. But that's all changed, pardon the pun, for 2018 as a raft of improvements has been announced. But first though, we need to share a little bit of housekeeping with you. You see, the laser range of twin axles is no more. It has been folded into VIP. So for the first time, VIP single and twin axles go together under the same umbrella. So what better way of looking at all the new changes for 2018 than with the VIP 575, the best-selling layout in the range, an island bed four-berth with an MTPLM of 1,615 kilograms. Now there's a new front panel design, and one of the first things you'll notice is that Coachman has put the gas locker here on this side. On the opposite side, it's just for storage. And as you would expect at this price point, you get the full ensemble of Alco goodies to go with the chassis. So you get the AKS hitch stabilizer, ATC anti-snaking control, shock absorbers and a secure wheel lock. And the makeover continues round the back, where you have this new ABS moulded rear panel, colour-coded grab handles and those automotive road lights. So first things first, let's have a look at some of the changes in the VIP's lounge. And the first thing you notice, aside from that massive feeling of space in here, is that skylight right across the front of the van. It's absolutely tremendous. Coachman believes it's the biggest one on the market, and who am I to argue? Now, I've travelled the world and the 7 seas, but I've seldom seen anything as impressive as the front lounge in this particular VIP. It is absolutely amazing, a real tour de force. I understand it's been a couple of seasons in development. It's absolutely fantastic from the point of view that it allows you, when one is reclining in the parallel lounge, to put their cups, mugs and glasses on the front shelf. The full width, of course, is available. And you also get this handy extension, perfect for morning coffee, afternoon tea and any other kind of celebratory function. Overlocker ambient lighting is thoughtfully provided, and immediately underneath are further design chops on offer. Look at this crank style locker facing. I let it go and it's perfectly soft closing. How good is that? And immediately underneath that you have 4 spotlights at the crucial corners of the lounge. Additional comfort buttons are pushed by the Dutango Strathmore soft furnishings, which I have to say look very contemporary, and I love the way that the key colours are referenced in the curtain tiebacks and in the top edge of the seat backs. Now the 575's kitchen area feels very well put together indeed. The cabinet work is of an excellent quality, starting with the overhead lockers. You get facings to differentiate the kitchen from the rest of the van. All very good. Inside there's racking on the left and a shelf to this one on the right. Underneath you have an oblong sink with a smart stainless steel tap next to that. And to the right of that, a Dometic dual fuel cooker, separate oven and grill. And this is one of the models that's been engineered to make less noise and be more efficient. All very good. Now at the other side of the van we have a dual fuel Dometic fridge with separate freezer compartment and a microwave oven up there. Now it's worth noting that we have a Dometic, and as we will see when we get into the washroom, the Lewis Dometic as well. It's all part of a plan to slightly differentiate the equipment lineup in VIP over the other ranges, and I think it's pretty successful. Now if you were thinking there wasn't a huge amount of worktop on this side of the van, then feast your eyes over here. As long as you haven't got a TV on there, there's another significant element of workspace. Now the double bed in the master suite of the 575 may look a bit small to you, but that's only because it's actually being shown in the standard daytime position. You see, at night time you extend it using a clever filler cushion arrangement, which will then give you a bed that's 6 foot 2 inches long and 4 foot 5 inches wide. Elsewhere in this bedroom, the ambience is spot on. From the 3 overhead lockers, the matching wardrobes, the vanity unit at the foot of the bed that also doubles as a TV station, right along to the shelf above the window on the offside of the caravan, where you can put pictures of the family animals or family members that you don't want to forget when you're on tour. Now, the main attraction of the 575's end washroom is, of course, the shower compartment. And for 2018, people will be very pleased to hear that it comes with an EcoCamel Jetstorm showerhead. So that means there are 3 different spray patterns. Yes, 3 different spray patterns. Next to that, we have a rather large expansive mirror arranged at the top, and underneath that into the locker doors for the cupboard against the end wall. Underneath that, you'll find a very smart sink and tap combination, and that stands on top of storage in the vanity unit. And further along, completing the Dometic ensemble I mentioned earlier, is the very latest swivel loo from Dometic. And one thing you can say, it certainly isn't bog standard. The 575 is the kind of van couples would want to keep to themselves, but if you do have to have overnight guests, then the lounge beds make up into a whopping double measuring 6'8" by 3'10". Now, to tow a VIP 575, you'll need a tow car with a curb weight in the region of 1900 kilograms. I haven't seen the prices for the 2018 models yet, but suffice to say, I think there will be a small price increase. So we're going to take it just over that £25,000 mark. Is that a lot of money to pay for something like this? I don't necessarily think so. Think about all the spec bumps, the detail improvements, plus that amazing new front shelf in the lounge, not to mention that skylight. There's certainly more than enough to tempt the browser or the serial upgrader looking for a brand new island bed 4-berth for the coming season. In actual fact, I think I may have rumbled a meaning for what VIP actually means. I would say, based on the evidence of today, it's a very interesting proposition.
Some people don't know the meaning of the phrase travel light. If you're the type who likes to take the kitchen sink with you on tour and a few other household fixtures and fittings for good measure, you'll love the Mercedes-Benz E-Class Estate. It's huge inside with a massive 640 litres for your bags with the rear seats in place. Lower them and that increases to 1,820 litres. That's more space than you'll find in the back of an Audi A6 Avant or a BMW 5 Series Touring. Passengers won't feel short-changed either, with plenty of legroom front and rear, although the panoramic glass roof fitted to our test car does eat into headroom. Even so, tall adults can travel comfortably, even in the back seats. The standard of finish is high, as it should be when this car costs close to £40,000. With a quality infotainment system and some classy design touches. Some of the ergonomics take a bit of getting used to, but the Mercedes cabin is a very pleasant place in which to while away the miles. So the E-Class Estate is practical and luxurious, but how well does it tow? Let's find out. In the lane change test, the E-Class handled itself well. Even with the Caravan sliding around behind it and beginning to tug at the back of the car, we were never worried that the Mercedes would fail to pull the Tourer straight again. It's stable at speed. Even on a breezy day, the big Merc feels secure and reassuring on the motorway. In normal towing, the brakes feel strong and responsive, but the 11.1 metre stopping distance is no better than average. The 2-litre diesel engine is comfortably up to the job of pulling any suitably matched Tourer. We've paired it with a Swift Expression 636 with a mass in running order of 1,417 kilograms, and the Merc has pulled it from 30 to 60 miles per hour in just 9.8 seconds. That's a very impressive turn of speed and makes it easy to drive on hilly roads with no struggling to hold momentum. However, if you want more pulling power, there is a more powerful E-Class diesel, the E350D, which is even quicker. However, it's unlikely to match the E220D's excellent fuel economy. We saw 27.9 mpg, towing on a mixture of A-roads and motorways. It's an expensive car, the E-Class, even compared with other upmarket estates, but it's more practical than its rivals and it's a quick and stable tow car too.
Adding an awning to your array of touring accessories allows you to increase the living space of your van, as well as providing an area for keeping outdoor kits safe from the elements. But there have been major strides in awning development in recent years, so we sent Peter Baber to find out more.
Whoever described awnings as a divorce in a bag was probably onto something, if you've ever seen people try to put one up on your average caravan park. But actually, there are huge advantages in having one. They can hugely increase the space in your caravan or motorhome without you having to trade up a model. They don't necessarily have to be very heavy, because a lot of them now come with air awnings, which is an inflatable awning, and even the ones that still have poles, the poles tend to be materials like carbon fibre, which is very lightweight. They can be expensive, some cost as much as £2,000, but you could also get ones for as little as £200. So what's really good about awnings? Well, I'm no expert, but I'm here with somebody who is. Andy Harding, the manager of Sell at Leisure. So Andy, what's new in the world of awnings?
Current trend is definitely moving towards the air awning. It opens up awning ownership and usage to a lot of people that probably would have been put off just for the convenience of using them. They have their place in the market as an easy, more convenient way for short breaks and holidays. That still doesn't rule out poled awnings, which you probably use if you are possibly going to go for a bit longer time, or if you're looking at seasonal pitch, where again you go for thicker material and probably a larger pole. It's more rigid and it can cope with a longer length for the weather conditions.
Is there anything else that people should consider when they're buying an awning?
Really is what your needs are. So break it right the way down for if you're going to be using it for weekends, if you're going to be using it for seasonal or holiday use, which will narrow down a lot of the market anyway. And then it's what you're willing to put up with as far as longevity of putting it up and complications. You can make your life easier with pole awnings, for instance, by laying them out, getting the instructions out, zip all the panels out of the awning, put the roof of the panel up first and then start building the frame inside from the instructions. And again, with the air awning, if you lay it out first, you can get a fair idea of where all the valves are before you start pulling it through the awning rail.
Thanks very much, Andy.
No problem at all.
And now I'm off to see how Colin from Isabella puts up one of their porch awnings. Let's take a look.
Meet Colin, a man amongst men in the world of awnings. What he doesn't know about cross members and tent pegs, frankly, isn't worth knowing. Now Peter is giving him a hand with this one, and for our demo, Colin isn't putting out the ground sheet or attaching the draft skirt onto the caravan. Two jobs that you'd normally do first, but when you're up against the clock like this, there just isn't time. The chaps have started by unfolding the awning and threading it through the van's awning rail. You then slide the awning into place, making sure to accommodate the caravan's entrance door. Now the Magnum Cole 250 porch awning is made from fibre dye textured weave isocryl, which is an impregnated maintenance-free material, so there's no chance of water creeping in, assuming that you've put it upright. The next step is to add the mountings for the rear poles to the side of the van. And the Magnum uses 3 fix-on screwless bracket pads for this. And now for the frame, which is made from Carbonex fiberglass and incorporates the user-friendly Isofix locking system. Firstly, lay the corner poles roughly in position, and then find the eyelet for the spike in the centre of the T-section. Then walk the canvas out, away from the van. Now attach the centre outward-facing pole and extend it to meet the T-section, then loosely lock it in place. Adding the T-frame outside bars at this stage opens the canvas out and gives you more space to work in. Attach the side roof poles now. As you've placed the side upright poles in position already, it's much easier to connect the two. Extend the front roof pole from the middle section and connect, then lock. Do the same on the other side and then thread, connect and lock the poles for the canopy. Next, zip up the canopy screen and then it's time to tension the poles. First, use the regulator tabs to set the height of the pegging rubbers and then extend the pole. We're nearly there now, but we still need to connect the rear poles that hold the awning tight to the caravan. And this is done courtesy of this plastic grip that holds the poles snugly in place. Connect the angled clamp like so and feed the pole into the sleeve. Extend the leg and lock it, pushing it against the van. With the frame in a basic shape, it's time to properly tension it, and the best way to do that is to release some of the pressure from the zips and allow the panels to drop down. Now, unique to Isabella is this special tool to tension the poles, and it enables you to have a nice tight awning. Clamp the tool onto the pole, unlock, extend, and then lock again. Repeat for every pole in the frame until it's nice and rigid. Before pegging down, check that the awning is square to the van and start pegging in the rear corner against the van, working your way along the side, then the other side, and finally along the front. Now, the optional extras for the Magnum Cole 250 porch awning include this sun canopy, and there's also a fairly huge annex you can add on too. And that's really all there is to it. Thanks, Colin.
The 2018 Compass Camino has an awful lot to live up to. After all, the 2017 Camino 660 was our tour of the year last year. Fortunately, its maker, the Explorer Group, which was this year taken over by Erwin Heimer Group in Germany, hasn't messed around with the recipe too much. It's still a great looking caravan with these fantastic blue sidewalls, although look carefully and you'll see they have been slightly changed. It's also still a very well equipped caravan. It's got all the usual Alco goodies, plus a gas barbecue point and not one, not two, but 3 external lockers. Take a look around the other side and you'll find that the cassette hatch is in the middle, which tells you that this is another caravan with a central washroom. However, the difference in this case is that it's got fixed twin beds. The Compass range has the same number of models this year, but the old transverse island bed 644 has made way for this, the 674. So let's take a look and see how it works inside. Now, I was going to talk to you about the brand new upholstery scheme in the Camino. However, this one is fitted with the optional leather, and very nice it is too. It is extremely plush and very well filled. It is a little bit on the slidey side, but I guess that's because it's factory fresh and that should tone down in time. It's a very pleasant lounge to be in. This is very clearly the top of the Compass range and only one step down from the top spec Buccaneer from this company's portfolio. It feels good and bright. We've got a big sunroof at the front and a huge sunroof in the middle that stretches right back to the kitchen. And of course, these sofas are very nice for lounging on, so you can sit back and watch the TV, which is mounted on the sideboard just by the door. It'll take a pretty fussy cook to take issue with this kitchen area. It really is quite impressive. From the overhead omnivent to extract cooking smells, to the well-sited microwave, to the huge fridge freezer, and then over here on the offside to a really good quality dual fuel hob with electric hot plate and 3 gas burners and a separate oven and grill. There's a fantastic amount of worktop space, and if you need even more, well, you can pop up the flap at the end. Not that I think you'll need to very often. There's a couple of sockets here, which is good, and there's yet more worktop with this rather neat drop-in board here. Take it out and there's a massive sink. This is new for the Compass range for 2018 and it is just vast. You'll be able to do a lot of washing up in there, which is really good. Beneath, there's 4 good-sized drawers and a massive cupboard down here, which is also where you'll find storage for the lounge table, ideally placed so you haven't got to lug it all the way through the van. Talking of storage space, over here on the near side again, behind the fridge, there's what looks to be a kitchen larder. But this is one of the few criticisms I've got of this van. It's actually the wardrobe, and it really is quite shallow, with a shelf in the middle there, stopping you having a full height hanging space. Behind the wardrobe, separating the main living area from the bedroom, you'll find the washroom. It's the familiar Compass design, and can be used as a separate shower and WC, a full-width family bathroom, or an ensuite, depending on how you arrange the 2 entrance doors. The large near side shower is fully lined, though there is some wheel arch intrusion, and opposite it you'll find an electric flush toilet with a neat concealed cistern, plus a salad bowl sink topping one of 2 bathroom cabinets. There's a roof light here but no window, plus a heated towel rail. One of the great advantages to having the bedroom at the back here, of course, is a proper bedside table, There's masses of room here for your cups of tea, books, specs, and maybe even a bunch of flowers and a classic table lamp, which you can plug in down there because there's a socket there along with 2 USB charging points. Excellent, ideal for your phones. There's also a series of drawers there, so great place to store your socks, particularly with the wardrobe right up towards the front. We've got loads of overhead locker space in here as well for clothing, and of course lots of storage underneath the beds. And it's great to see that they can both be accessed from outside the van. Although I think I would have liked to have seen some drop-down flaps inside as well, so you didn't have to lift the bed bases to get at them. On the far bulkhead at the foot of the offside bed, there's a TV mounting point. You'll have to fit your own mount, but all the sockets are there with 12 volt, satellite, aerial and 230 volt. And of course the beds back here are a really good size. They're both over 6 feet long, so this is a good choice of tourer for taller caravanners. There are compromises to be made in putting a centre washroom into a fixed twin bed layout, but placing it on a twin axle chassis does give you a lot more space to play with. I do think the wardrobe is a touch narrow, but otherwise the 674 works particularly well, and it adds yet another string to the Camino's already impressive bow.
Stay a while in delightful Dorset, the sign says, and when you turn the corner and have scenes like this to greet you, it's hard to refuse. Wood Farm Camping and Caravan Park is set in the stunning rolling hills of the Char Valley in Dorset. Just 3/4 of a mile from the Jurassic coast and a short drive from the towns of Dorchester and Axminster.
Well, we as a family have been here for 45 years now. And one of the main reasons people come to stay with us is our proximity to the Jurassic coast. We're about 3/4 of a mile to Charmouth Beach, and there's the Heritage Coast Centre, Charmouth Heritage Coast Centre, right down at the beach with lots of information about how to go fossiling. We're right on the southwest coast path. Lots of people come here for walking. So I think it's our setting and where we are that attract people to come to stay with us.
And that setting is truly beautiful. Even within the park, they have their own set of lakes to walk around, or even fish, although the owners admit the fish are pretty wily these days, and it may not suit any serious fishermen out there. There are 200 touring pitches at Wood Farm, all of which are hard standings, with awning space and electricity, plus the usual mix of premium and standard, offering grey waste disposal and individual water points. For motorhomes, there's a drive over grey water point and a discreet Ulsan point just behind it. But beyond the necessities, it's the luxuries that brought this park into our Top 100 Sites Awards. There's an on-site cafeteria offering lunches, afternoon teas and all-day breakfasts, plus legendary homemade cakes baked by the lovely Gay. And if you need to burn off some of those extra calories, there's a large outdoor play area for the children. A tennis court with racket and ball hire, and even an indoor heated swimming pool.
My favourite thing, I think it'd be the park, because it's like a lot bigger than I expected it to be, and it's a lot bigger, and I really like how they've managed to put the trampoline in there, and I like the pirate ship, as you can see in the background, and it's like, it's just really good, and it's like, I don't think you can get bored here.
Well, neither do we, because in addition to the outside play area, there's the Lighthouse Room, an indoor play area with a whole range of ideas to keep the children entertained. Facilities are clean and well kept and include 2 laundry rooms with washer dryer and ironing facilities, a disabled toilet and shower room. And if you fancy a soak, there's even a good-sized family bathroom with a real bath in it.
We just think it's so lovely. You know, the views and usually the weather. And what's very nice is that the staff are so friendly and helpful.
And expert.
Yes, which you don't always get from some campsites.
And it has the right combination of qualities. for what we look at in the site. And one of the quite important ones is the swimming, which you see behind you there.
Yeah.
We both enjoy swimming, and you can't always get a park that's as good as this with swimming. It's also as good as this. You know.
Especially indoors.
There's a dedicated dog walking area for those of you who can't be separated from your pooch. And always popular with the children are the 3 little pigs that live on the top field.
We have a lot of motor caravans staying with us, and they, as you say, often want to park up for the couple of days and then not have to move their motor caravan. We've got a bus stop just outside the park entrance, and you can get a bus from there all the way along the coastline or to some of the other towns like Dorchester and Axminster. So we've got a good local bus service.
One word of warning though, beautiful undulating scenery means hills, and people using wheelchairs or sticks may find the park tricky to get around.
We would absolutely recommend it because it is beautiful and it's well worth wherever you have to come from to visit. It really is. It's just different. There's not many places like this.
And with that, we come to the end of this week's show. But whatever you do, don't miss next week when we've got a Tow Car Awards special, bringing you all of the runners and riders from this year's judging. In the meantime, you can keep up with us on Facebook or Twitter or via our website. And don't forget that Practical Motorhome TV will be along in just a few minutes. Until next time and that very special episode, I'll see you very soon.